Hi, documentary filmmaker Mike Pulcinella here, doing a question and answer for MarioFit.net. Welcome to my studio. Here we are. This is where I do all of my video editing. You can see the sound-absorbing foam on the walls. This is my voiceover microphone. Over here are some of the hard drives that I use to store the video files. But what you're not seeing is my computer, which is usually right here. It crashed the other day. The hard drive went bad. This is something that can happen once in a while. Why do I seem like I don't care? Why am I whistling a tune? It's because everything I had on there was backed up. And I say this as a tip to everyone out there, no matter what you do, back up your computer as often as you can. I've had this happen to me 3 times over the course of the years that I've been doing video since about 2005. And only one time did I lose stuff, but I learned my lesson. And so now when something like that happens, yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's expensive, it's a pain in the butt, but I didn't lose anything. So anyway, let's get started. Let's jump right into the questions. How did you get started with bodybuilding? What influenced you the most? Well, in 2004, I had an old video camera lying around, and I decided to challenge myself to see if I could make something that resembled a documentary. I had never done this before, and I was not a trained filmmaker. I had worked in the printing business my whole life. So I searched around for a subject matter, and my brother had been a bodybuilder since he was a teenager and had really devoted a lot of his life to it. So I knew quite a bit about what he did, the sacrifices he made for bodybuilding, and I decided to make a video about him. He was preparing for a local contest in Delaware. I was really just making this for myself, for my friends, my family, for Dave, just to watch after the contest was over, something I thought would be funny, would make us laugh. But a lot of dramatic things happened along the way. And the documentary I ended up putting together was about 90 minutes long and had a lot of the things that bodybuilders go through that had never really been shown before. Up until that time, most bodybuilding videos were what we call sets and reps videos. They were just training videos and didn't really delve into the behind the scenes, the life and the emotions of the bodybuilders themselves.
It's funny how the body tries to survive. You realize that something's wrong. So, it makes you tired, which makes you not move, which conserves energy. So then you don't die. Although I don't think it's going to work.
How are you
Really?
feeling? Like shit, can't you tell?
You like the job
Go
or
away.
what? I'm going to smash that thing over your head. Sorry.
I wasn't patterning what I was doing on any particular bodybuilding video. In fact, I was not even really that big of a fan of bodybuilding, and certainly had never really seen very many bodybuilding videos, besides Pumping Iron many years ago. What I was doing, I was patterning what I was doing after other famous documentaries I had seen. And I think because of that, Raising the Bar, which is what we eventually ended up calling it, Raising the Bar was a bit unique in the bodybuilding world. It went into more depth than other bodybuilding videos ever had. I mean, I would love to say that I saw a gap in the world of bodybuilding videos and set out to fill that niche, but really it was just accidental. I was just making this the way I wanted to make it, and it turned out to be quite unique. When my brother saw it, he suggested that we send a DVD to a friend of his who owned a website that sold bodybuilding related paraphernalia. I sent him like 5 copies. He put them up on his website and they quickly sold out. He asked for 10 more. I made them. He asked for 20 more. They were selling. I couldn't believe it. I never expected that to happen. After that, my brother was preparing to go on. He had won that contest in Delaware. He was preparing to go on to the national level, and so I decided to follow him and make a follow-up. That became Raising the Bar 2, his quest to turn pro at the national level. We ended up making three documentaries, Raising the Bar 1, 2, and 3, that took us up to and including my brother's retirement from competitive bodybuilding. They've become very popular in the bodybuilding world, and if you'd like to see some clips of them, by the way, you can go to my website, MikePulcinella.com, and there should be a link somewhere around this window that you can just click on. They'll take you right there. I have a portfolio of many clips from the Raising the Bar series that you can watch, and then also a page where you can either buy the DVDs or download them. Download all 3 Raising the Bars to either a phone or tablet or computer. So that link is going to be somewhere near this video. Can you tell our fans what you actually do? What is Mike Pulcinella doing in the fitness industry? Well, right now, I'm working for MHP and Muscle Meds. These are two sister companies owned by the same parent company. The owner of those companies, Gerard Dente, saw the clips of Raising the Bar that I had put online. Called me up, and long story short, offered me a job. I moved to North Jersey, and now I'm working exclusively for MHP and Muscle Meds as a bodybuilding fitness videographer. What I basically do is make commercials and training videos with the sponsored athletes of MHP and Muscle Meds, obviously showing how they incorporate our products into their daily routine. I mean, obviously the ultimate goal is to sell products, but I also try to make entertaining videos that, again, look behind the surface of the sport a little bit. And I think that I've done that. You can see those on my YouTube page. There's a lot of them there on the MHP and the Muscle Meds YouTube page, and I continue to produce videos for that company. It's a great job and a great career, and I'm really loving it.
And although we would have liked to have gotten a powerful workout on tape, I feel that seeing a world-caliber athlete on a bad day is often more illuminating than watching him throw the weights around when he's feeling good.
You've worked with the best of the best in the fitness industry. Which of the pro bodybuilders do you find the most amusing and great to work with? Well, I haven't worked with everyone in the fitness industry. Really, I've only worked with the MHP and Muscle Meds sponsored athletes. The two biggest, of course, were Victor Martinez and Greene. And I loved working with both of them, actually. Bodybuilders can be difficult. What they put themselves through takes a lot of their energy and time, and sometimes, they don't really want a cameraman asking questions and shoving a camera in their face. Yet both of these guys have been really great over the years, giving me the time and giving me the energy that they can, or just allowing me in and around their lives, to shoot some of the things that I've shot. And so I would say those are my two favorite guys, Victor Martinez and Greene. Of the two, you'd have to admit that Kai is much more of the character. He's quite a character, actually, and in real life as well as on camera. And I think he's carved out a persona for himself that's quite unique in the business. And he has since left Muscle Meds. He's moved on, forming his own company, and I wish him well. Hopefully, we may be able to work together again sometime in the future. That would be great. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? In the meantime, I still consider him a friend. One of my idols since I started in bodybuilding is no other than the eternal runner-up, Greene. I know you have a unique and special bond and relationship with him. Can you share us something more about him? How is he in person? How is the experience of working with him? Well, I started to touch upon that a little bit in the last question. Greene is pretty much the way he comes across on camera. Very thoughtful, very verbose. The guy sure can talk, but he's always getting to a good point. I think that the one thing that the camera doesn't show, the sort of private side of Greene, is some of the insecurities that we all have. And he has talked about this before. But, he looks impervious. He's a giant, massively muscled man. But he deals with the same kinds of insecurities that we all do. And a lot of that has never really been captured on film. I don't think he would want it to be, but I think he'd be the first to admit that the persona of Greene that is out there in the world is essentially him, but that there's a little bit that he's holding back. He can be a lot of fun to work with. He can be kind of crazy and wacky, but sometimes he can be kind of withdrawn and brooding, especially when he's in the depths of a contest preparation, dehydrated, lack of food, and all the things that go along with it. He can certainly turn inward, and I've seen that happen many times. But it's certainly been great working with him, and I think he and I have produced some of the best and most unique videos in bodybuilding. And again, you can go to my website, mikepulcinella.com, and I have links to the documentaries I've made with him, and there are plenty. There's a series, a 3-part series on my website called A Day in the Life of Greene that I think is really worth watching because I followed him around for an entire day. Little inside secret, to film A Day in the Life of Greene actually took 4 days over the course of a month, and we just condensed it to look like one typical day. But that's usually how those things go. Since you actively work out, how is the everyday interaction with well-built men and women affecting you? Do you find it inspiring or intimidating? Well, I actually find it very inspiring. I've always been into health and fitness. My brother and I were introduced to it by our father when we were teenagers.
Our father discovered the benefits of weight training in the 50s, long before Arnold helped make pumping iron a household word. Back then, weightlifting and bodybuilding was underground, a fringe activity, relatively unknown and sometimes very misunderstood.
Back then, you didn't tell people you were doing stuff like that because it was like such an odd thing to do. And gym teachers in school, if they found out you were lifting weights, you didn't want them to know. One gym teacher in 11th grade made me stand up in front of everybody. He said, "This kid is a natural athlete." Because I won the push-up contest and the chin-in contest and a couple other things. Little did he know, and I wouldn't tell anybody. Football coach told that any football player he caught lifting weights was off the team.
It's the exact opposite now.
It was a very underground thing, and then it exploded in the 60s and 70s, and he brought us along with it. He showed us, how to stay healthy and how to work out. My brother took it to an extreme. He became a bodybuilder, but I never did. However, I still try to keep myself in shape, and being surrounded by all of these incredible athletes in incredible shape is not intimidating. It's always inspiring. And my goal is to keep myself in as good a shape as I can for as long as I can. I'm not a bodybuilder though, and I don't intend to put on a lot of mass because I need to be light on my feet. I need to move equipment and to be running around with a camera and on my feet, sometimes all day for a long shoot. So my goal is to do what's called functional fitness, stay active, stay agile, have good cardiovascular health, and then, keep a little muscle on. As we get older, we tend to lose muscle. I turned 54 this year. And every year, at least for the past few years, around my birthday, I try to get myself in the best shape possible to give myself a little birthday present of feeling as good as I possibly can, as I'm turning another year older. I took a picture this year that I was very proud of. I put a lot of work over the summer. My birthday's in September. A lot of work over the summer getting into shape, and I took a picture that I was proud to put on Facebook. My goal is to continue to keep myself in as good a shape as I can, because I think that impacts directly on my ability to do documentary films. Next question, how do you keep yourself in shape? What is your diet like? How many times are you working out per week? It's funny that you're asking me this question because it's usually the question that I have to ask a lot of the athletes. I keep myself in shape by doing everything you already know. Eating well, exercising as much as possible. I get to the gym, I shoot for 7 days a week. That's my goal, every day. But I know that life is going to interfere and my job is going to interfere. So I sometimes only get there maybe 5 times a week. That's the minimum for me. I'll let 2 days, maybe a rest day or something else will interfere. I shoot for 7 days a week, but I'm happy with 5. I do a combination of cardiovascular, cardio work on, I like the elliptical machines, and I lift weights as heavy as I possibly can without going too heavy. I try to preserve my joints. That's very important to me, especially as we get older, our knees, elbows, and shoulders, to try to keep them as healthy. So I don't lift real heavy anymore. I did when I was younger and paid the price for that. My diet is, lean meats and not too many carbs, fresh vegetables. I mean, it's nothing too complex. I do eat 6 times a day, 5 or 6 times a day, depending on my schedule. And some of those meals will be protein shakes. Of course, I use MHP protein. I really like it. So I do shakes and food. I alternate them throughout the day, but I like to eat 6 small meals a day rather than the 3 big meals that most Americans do. All of that, I think, keeps me in pretty good shape year-round. I don't really get very far out of shape. I may gain a few pounds during the winter and lose them during the summer, but other than that, I'm pretty consistent, I think. What are your future plans in the fitness industry? Well, I'd just like to continue working for MHP and Muscle Meds right now. I'm also working on a follow-up to the Raising the Bar series, calling it Raising the Bar 4, which is about my experiences behind the camera shooting since 2004 or 5. So it tells a lot of the behind-the-scenes stories of raising the bar, a lot of the behind-the-scenes stories of the Greene documentaries and Victor Martinez's videos. I've been working on it for quite some time, and I'm hoping that my audience, the audience that loved Raising the Bar, initially will also love this. I think there's a lot of really good material in there, a lot of stuff that no one's ever seen. I really would like to branch outside of the world of bodybuilding in the future. Maybe after Raising the Bar 4 is done, as maybe a side project, something outside of the world of bodybuilding, but I haven't yet found the right subject matter. I've been looking, and a lot of people have suggested some things, but we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm just happy doing what I'm doing, working for MHP and Muscle Meds, and working on my project of the heart, Raising the Bar 4. If you'd like to get a notification about any of the stuff that I do, and especially about Raising the Bar 4, you can send me your email address. My email address is mike@mikepulcinella.com. And again, it should be somewhere around this video box. They should have put the link for that. You can send your address to me, mike@mikepulcinella.com, and I'll put it in my email blast list. I send out an email blast every once in a while, not too much. You can go to my YouTube page. Hopefully there's a link for that there too. And you can subscribe, because I will obviously announce Raising the Bar 4 on YouTube. Or you could go to my Facebook fan page, Mike Pulcinella Video Productions, and announcements will be made there, of course. And you can reach me, you could message me through there to send me your email address. There's lots of different ways to get in contact with me, to get put on my email mailing list. So thanks for your interest in me. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to MarioFit.net for asking me the questions in the first place. And if there's anything you'd like to know, any questions you'd like to ask, just email me and I'll do my best to answer them.